Good morning and welcome back to your literacy lesson for today. It is Tuesday the 7th of July and we are looking at Noah Barley Water Runs Away. Today our learning objective is to write a diary entry as a character, and we are going to be successful in this lesson by explaining how I feel as a character and using description to set the scene. So let's read, let me move myself, the text. So, stepping inside the toy shop had not been Noah's original intention. All he really wanted to do at first was take a look in the window and see what was on display. He didn't have any money to buy anything, of course, but it didn't do any harm to look at what he couldn't afford. He also wanted to make sure that there were not too many customers milling around in case they realised he didn't belong there and called the village police. But somehow he felt as if he had been sucked inside the shop without his making any decision at all, as if the whole thing had all been entirely outside of his control. Of course, this was most unexpected, but he felt that now he was here, the best thing to do was simply take a look around and see what the shop was like. The first thing he noticed was how quiet it was. This was nothing like the kind of quiet he heard when he woke up in the middle of the night after a bad dream. When that happened, there was always strange, unidentifiable sounds seeping into his room from the tiny gaps where the window panes weren't sealed together correctly. At those moments, he could always tell there was life outside, even if all that life was fast asleep. It was a silence that wasn't silence at all. But here, inside the shop, things were very different. Here, the quiet wasn't just quiet, it was a total absence of sound. Noah had been inside a lot of toy shops in his life. Whenever his family went shopping for the day, he made a point of being on his best behaviour, because if he was good, then he knew that he would be taken to one before they went home again. And if he was very good, there was even a chance that his parents might buy him a special treat, even if he was eating them out of house and home and they had no money to spend on luxuries. So, thinking about this text, what do you know about Noah and his family from these sentences? He didn't have any money to buy anything, of course, but it didn't do any harm to look at what he couldn't afford. And the second sentence, and if he was very good, there was even a chance that his parents might buy him a special treat, even if he was eating them out of house and home and they had no money to spend on luxuries. Ignore the spelling mistake there. So think about them two sentences. What do you think, or what do you know about Noah and his family just from reading them two sentences together? Take your time, read them again if you need to, and have a think, pause the video and then come back to hear what I have to say. Off you go. Fantastic. Welcome back, year 3. So, he didn't have any money to buy anything, of course, but it didn't do any harm to look at what he couldn't afford. And if he was very good, there was even a chance that his parents might buy him a special treat, even if he was eating them out of house and home and they had no money to spend on luxuries. So I'm getting the impression that Noah and his family do not have a lot of money to spare. Although if he was very good, they could buy him a special treat. But then it says even if he was eating them out of house and home. So maybe his family have said that to him, that he's eating too much food and they haven't got enough money to buy enough food to support what Noah likes to eat, and they have no money to spend on luxuries. And it says he didn't have any money to buy anything, of course. So it's like we should know him and we should know that he hasn't got any money and that his family have not got any money. So he's telling us that it's obvious that they've not got any money, but it's okay to look at things that he can't afford and that he's enjoying looking at the toy shop, even though he knows he can't afford things. So I'm getting the impression that they haven't got a lot of money. They've been struggling. And Noah has desires to buy toys, but he hasn't got the money to do that at the moment. maybe things will change as the story goes on. So, why do you think Noah was worried that people realised he didn't belong there? Why do you think he didn't belong there? What does this mean to you? Why do you think he thinks that people would call the police? What might cause them to do this? So there's a lot to unpick there as well. So take some time. Why would he not belong there? And why is he worried that they're going to call the police? Have a think, pause the video, and then come back when you are ready. Fantastic. Year 3. Welcome back. So, why do you think Noah was worried that people realised he didn't belong there? So, he said he also wanted to make sure that there were not too many customers milling around in case they realised he didn't belong there and called the village police. Now, judging from the title of the book, which we already know, it's called Noah Barleywater Runs Away. So, maybe he has run away at this point. We're not sure. Maybe he's already run away at this point. And he doesn't want people to find him. He doesn't want people to know that he's run away yet. He doesn't want to... Maybe he's in a different town or a different country or a completely different place. And he knows that people will know that he doesn't belong there. And they think he's going to call the village police. So he's scared. Maybe he's scared about going back home. He seems to be worried. And he doesn't want to get in trouble with the police, but he also doesn't want people to know that he's there either. So it's a difficult one. We're assuming, well, I'm assuming that he has already run away, which is obviously very sad and something that is not very nice, and I don't like hearing about that. But I wonder what has made him feel like this. Maybe, I don't know, maybe he's got in trouble at school and he feels like this is the only way to deal with things, which is horrible and awful. So I don't know. There's lots to unpick and think about, and we're just making some predictions about what we think is happening. So you are going to pretend that you are Noah right now. You are going to write a diary entry to tell me how you're feeling as Noah and what you are thinking whilst you're standing in this toy shop. Remember that you do not have a lot of money, you're worried about someone finding you there, and you're worried about the police being called. Does that mean you aren't meant to be there at all? How did you get into the toy shop? It says you were sucked in, but it didn't tell me how you got into the toy shop. So think about all of them things. You are Noah, okay? You are going to write me a diary entry to tell me how you're feeling. And then you're going to put your work onto Class Dojo when you have finished. Think about setting the scene using descriptions to tell me what it's like in the toy shop, how you're feeling, what you're thinking, why you're so worried. So let me know all of these things about you as the character. Well done, Year 3. Upload your work so me and Mr. Kareem can see it onto Dojo. This text is very wordy, I completely understand, but I'm excited, and it's a little bit of a difficult text. This text is difficult, but I'm looking forward to seeing your interpretation on this text. So have a go and let me know what you think. Off you go.